All right, Applied Math. Today we are going to look at buying a house and specifically some of the costs involved with that. So, the biggest cost and the one that you usually think of when you're talking about buying a house is the monthly loan payment. So, whether you get a 10, 15, 20, 30-year mortgage or some other oddball thing, you're going to have to make some kind of monthly payment on your mortgage. So here's the formula to calculate these payments. We've seen these with loans before, earlier in the year, and just like before, I'm going to tell you not to use that because it's silly and the internet is there to help us out. So we're going to want to just go into Google and we are going to type in the words mortgage calculator. What we'll need to know is we'll need to know the principal of the loan. That's how much money we're taking out. We'll need to know the yearly interest rate, and we'll need to know the term, so the number of years. And when we do that, Google will tell us a monthly payment. How about that? So let's just try this out real quick. We'll find the monthly payment of a 30-year, $125,000 mortgage at 2.9%, which is a pretty common interest rate for right now. So let me get into my internet browser here. And I'm going to type in the words mortgage calculator and hit enter. And let's see, I think I said $125,000. And we'd like it at 2.9% for 30 years. And that's saying that our monthly payment, and that's just principal and interest, and we'll talk more about other stuff on top of that. Our monthly payment is going to be $520 a month for the next 30 years of our life. And there we go. The monthly payment's about $520. Now, there are other things that we need to throw in there, and a big one is property taxes. So if you live somewhere, you've got to pay property taxes. It's just the way it goes if you own a house. So most mortgage lenders, and this is really nice, believe it or not, they will keep your property taxes and property insurance in what's known as an escrow account. So you pay them just as part of your monthly bill. Instead of that $520 a month, maybe we pay them, I don't know, $625, something like that. And they put that into an account. And then when your property taxes and your property insurance come due, which is usually once or twice a year, depending on what kind you get, you don't have to pay it. They'll just pay it for you. I mean, you did pay it. You paid it as part of your mortgage payment, but you don't get the thrill of opening up your mail and having a bill for like $2,000 in there saying, hey, you owe your taxes now, give us money. That money's already taken care of. Your lender will do it for you. So property taxes are usually calculated in one of two ways. The first way is the percent of assessed value, and the second way would be cash per $1,000 in assessed value. So a county assessor of some sort is going to come by your property. Usually when you buy a new property, they reassess it, and then they reassess it once every few years after that, and they're going to say the county or the town or whatever says that your property is worth this many dollars, and they're going to tax you based on that. So let's look at a couple examples of this. So the property tax rate in small town is 1.95% of assessed value. The Smiths own a house assessed at $145,000, and we would like to know what is their yearly property tax bill. So go ahead, and even if you're not 100% sure how to do this, just try it. See what you can figure out. Okay, this one's not too bad. All we have to do is multiply these two numbers together. So we have to multiply 145,000 by 1.95% as a decimal form. So just move that decimal point over two places to the left. And we'll see that the Smiths owe about $2,827.50 per year in property taxes. Now, here's the other kind of example we've got. So the property tax rate in Grand City is $19.25 per $1,000 of assessed value. The Wilsons own a property assessed at $310,000. And we'd like to know what is their yearly property tax bill. So again, even if you're not 100% sure how to do this, try to get a number in there that seems right. Okay, this one is bigger because A, this is a more expensive tax rate, and B, it's a more expensive house. So to do this, we're actually going to use that $19.25 per thousand as a fraction. So we're going to multiply that $310,000 that the house is worth by that fraction, and in your calculator you could actually just punch in 310,000 times 19.25 divided by 1,000, and that would get it to you. And you're going to come up with $5,967.50 per year. So it's a higher tax rate, it's a more expensive property, it does cost more. Okay, let's talk about front-end ratio. So banks, when you put in a mortgage application, they decide whether or not they're going to give you the money or not. One of the things that they look at in addition to credit score is front-end ratio. This is a ratio of monthly housing expenses to your monthly gross income. So most banks want this ratio to be at about 28% or less, or else they're not going to approve the loan. They believe at that point, if it's more than 28%, that you are in danger of not paying your loan. So let's look at an example here of how to calculate this. The Courtneys make a combined gross income of $135,511 and are considering buying a house. The monthly payment would be $1,233. Property taxes are $9,400 a year, which is expensive for that house. And property insurance would be $876 per year. Will the bank lend them the $190,000 to purchase the house? Well, let's take a look. We need to find the monthly expenses and the income first. So for expenses, it told us that we had $1,233 for the loan. We take that property tax number, divide it by 12 to get a monthly value, so that's about $783. And then we take the property insurance value and divide that by 12 to get a monthly value of $73. So we take $1,233 plus $783 plus $73, add them all together, and our monthly housing expenses are about $2,089. Now we need to do the same thing with our monthly income. So we take the money that they make each year, that $135,511, divide that by 12, and that gets us about $11,293 a month. And then we want a ratio, so we divide them. So you take 2,089 divided by 11,293, and you get 0.185, which is about 18.5%. So this is well under the 28% that the bank is looking at. So just based on that, if their credit score is good, the bank will approve them. Okay, another thing that banks could look at, another ratio besides front end, is looking at back end ratio. And I think this one is slightly more common, at least the last time I was applying for mortgages. So this is also known as debt to income ratio, and it's the ratio of total monthly expenses to monthly gross income. The big difference between this and the front end ratio is that things like car payments or credit cards or any other kind of loan that you might have goes into this, whereas the front end ratio only takes into account just the housing expenses. So this ratio gets a little higher because we've got those other expenses in there, and banks like to keep this ratio under 36%. And that's a pretty common number. So that's something, when you're applying for a mortgage, it's kind of something that you can calculate yourself and figure out, hey, is the bank going to go for this if my back end ratio is over that 36%? And the answer is probably not. Okay, that's it for this section. We'll do some work with these in class, and I'll see you then.